How to perform alternate nasal breathing. Alternate nasal breathing is one of the most famous yoga pranayams. Pranayama is simply the breathing section of Hatha Yoga. Now, many pranayamas are actually quite dangerous, but alternate nostril breathing is one of the safest. It's also known as Nadi Shodhan Pranayama or Anulom Vilom Pranayama. It's a simple yet powerful pranayama which has many positive effects. It has a calming effect on the nervous system. It helps to bring the mind into the present, which will help you become more grounded. It is a good precursor to meditation practice because it gets you into a more relaxed state. It makes you more responsive because it brings you into the now and helps you make decisions. It also helps mental clarity. You'll actually think more clearly. It helps to improve the respiratory system. It helps to improve the circulatory system. It harmonizes the right and left sides of the brain, thus balancing the analytical and intuitive aspects of the mind. Also purifies the subtle energy channels, nadis, in the body, which help the flow of pranic energy, life energy around the body, which is good for physical, mental, emotional, spiritual well-being. In summary, alternate nostril breathing has a balancing effect upon the mind, the body, and it connects you with higher aspects of yourself. It's a great way of de-stressing and coming into the now. Ideally, it should be practiced once a day, more often than not in the morning, but you can practice in the evening. There are a couple of contraindications, but we'll get there later. So say you want to try out alternate nostril breathing. How do you try it? Well, basically you sit in a position where your back is erect and your shoulders are relaxed, and then with your left hand you should actually cup your hand upwards while sitting on your lap and then touch your forefinger with your thumb. This is known as the chin mudra, and it's not just symbolic, it also has a benefit of generating energy in that area of the body. So the chin mudra is a very good energetic exercise, and also it will immediately make you feel more relaxed. Now, we tend to atypically think of this posture with legs crossed, but you don't have to have legs crossed. You could be sitting normally with your legs on the ground, but definitely you should be sitting erect. The ideal position then with the right hand is to place your thumb over the right nostril and your little finger is held over the left nostril with the other two fingers pressed against the forehead. You don't have to follow that exactly, but it is a good posture for doing this exercise. So what are we going to do in this exercise? Well, first you're going to breathe in from the left nostril. Then you're going to close that finger, a little finger against the left nostril, and then you're going to open the thumb and breathe out through the right nostril. Then you're going to repeat this process, this time from the right nostril. Then with your thumb, close the right nostril, lift the little left finger upwards and breathe out to the left. So into the left, out to the right, in from the right, out to the left. Ideally, you should do this 10 repetitions, which is 5 each side, and that's called one round. Then you should relax for a few seconds and then do 2 more. So 3 rounds, ideally. And the idea is that from breathing from the left and then breathing out from the right, and then breathing in from the right and breathing out from the left, will balance the nadis. And it really is quite a powerful and simple exercise. But there are some precautions which you have to follow. While it is very safe, you should never force breathing. It should be natural and normal. There is no force in any branch of Hatha Yoga. So this is non-competitive. It's not like Western sporting activities. You just do it slowly and gently, and you build it up over time. Start with just a few rounds and build up. Don't rush and don't push. Also, do not carry it out excessively, as in dozens and dozens of rounds, as this could upset the nervous system. Also, for people with chronic health such as high blood pressure, for example, they should start slowly and carefully. And if any unease is felt, stop it and then try it again later. And again, if any unease is felt, again stop it. So try it a few times and see. If it starts working for you, fine. If you're feeling worse, just drop it. It doesn't work for everybody. So although alternate nasal breathing is a fantastic exercise for most people, it does not work for everybody. The other consideration is blocked nose. Most of us have a blocked nose. I mean, part of this is because the way the nadis work is that for a few hours a day, you're basically breathing with your right nostril, but the left nostril is not doing much. And then for a few hours a day, the left nostril is working. So, for example, the right nostril will work for 2 or 3 hours, then the left nostril will work, then the right and the left. And there's actually, this isn't just your nose is blocked, it's an actual energetic pattern. But if your nose does become a little bit blocked, then it becomes harder, because say the left nostril becomes blocked, then how are you going to do this exercise? Because you're not supposed to force. So there's 2 things you could try. One is Neti, N-E-T-I, which is a purification process. I'll just give a link here, and it's also below in the description to an article on my blog which outlines how you can do nasal cleansing. The other thing you can simply do, which I've never heard of it anywhere else, but I've tried it and I found it useful because I tend to have a blocked nose quite often, is simply follow the least line of resistance. So if my right nostril is feeling fine, I'll breathe in through my right nostril and breathe out to my left, and I'll do that a few times. Then later in the day, when my left nostril is no longer blocked, I'll breathe in through my left nostril and I'll breathe out through my right nostril. So you're still getting a very similar benefit. Maybe you're not getting 100% of the benefit, but I do believe you're getting quite a bit of the benefit. The one important consideration is to make sure the numbers are equal, because we're talking about energy and energetic patterns which cycle through the body several times a day. So if you do 100 repetitions with the right nostril, make sure that you're also doing 100 repetitions with the left nostril. Now, again, thinking of contraindications, ill health, we have to think of our health, and it is very important to watch this exercise if your health is weak, if you're recovering from a bout of ill health, or maybe you've got high blood pressure, especially holding the breath. You should not hold the breath at all with this. You should breathe in gently to the left nostril, then immediately breathe out to the right, and vice versa, because holding the breath can be very dangerous for the health. And that's an advanced practice which they do have in pranayama, is whereby you hold the breath. This is something which I would not recommend, because your body, your nervous system knows how to breathe, and when we start holding the breath, we can start upsetting this balance. So it's something I tend to suggest that you avoid unless you have a pranayama teacher who could really show you or teach you how to do that properly without any negative effects. Now, I know I've touched off quite a bit here about negative side effects, but it's something you have to be aware of, because pranayamas are very powerful. Even this very simple one is very powerful. So do be a little bit careful. So again, just to summarize, it's a great exercise for grounding you and bringing you into the here and now, and also it's a good exercise for your health. And it's a good exercise for getting into a meditative state of mind. Really, from the mental anxiety, stress point of view, I think alternative nostril breathing is very good. But also, just a quick aside before we finish here, is deep breathing. For some people, it just doesn't work. They don't feel so good. It doesn't work for them. In that case, you can try deep breathing. With deep breathing, it's very simple. You breathe in deeply and then breathe out deeply. Do it 10 times. Call that one round. Relax for a minute. Breathe in deeply. Breathe out deeply. Again, don't do it excessively. You don't want to overstimulate or hurt your system. But most people don't breathe enough. Most people only use the top 20% of their lungs. So it is a good idea to, breathe in more deeply, at least some of the time. A great variation on this is to go out for an early morning walk when the air is oxygenated, because the plants release a lot of oxygen over nighttime. And when it's quiet and peaceful, just go for a nice walk. And don't force it, but just make a point of taking some deep breaths in some of the time. Again, don't force anything to do with your breath, but just try and take a few deep breaths and then walk around normally for a couple of minutes, taking another few deep breaths. It's just good to get some oxygen into your body, because your health is based largely upon how much oxygen is going into your bloodstream. Finally, another variation you can do is lying on your bed and breathing in deeply but into your belly. So your belly extends out, and then relax and let go. Breathe in deeply into your belly expands a bit, and then let go. And this will simply bring the oxygen further into the lungs, which is again good for your health. So again, try those techniques. Alternate nasal breathing is a fantastic technique for grounding yourself and boosting your health. And deep breathing is something we should probably do more of, because a lot of our health problems is because our breathing is too shallow. So try them out today, see how you get on. Be willing to be careful and make a few adaptations. Don't pressurize anything, don't force anything. As always, with any kind of exercise, just do what's natural for you and what feels healthy for you. So once again, thanks for dropping in today, and have a good day.